Hi guys, welcome to Rustic and Lace DIY. To all of my loyal subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And if you're new here, my name is Brenda. Welcome. And I like to do home decor on a low budget, as well as thrift flips, gift ideas, and yeah, sometimes Dollar Tree hauls. So if you like that, and if you like what you see today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, and give me that thumbs up. That really does help my channel. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, for our first project, I'm using one of those crates that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I am using Waverly chalk paint. I believe this was in the color Lagoon, I believe. It was either, yeah, I believe it's Lagoon. And I'm just painting the bottom of this crate all around the bottom and one of those slots on the top with that color. I saw a picture of this on Home Depot, and they have two of them for sale for $32, and I, counting the paint and everything, maybe spent $2 on this crate. So I absolutely love the way it came out. They have two actually crates, and I was hoping to make another one, but I couldn't find my bigger crate. So here I just went in with some brown, and I'm doing the second slat and the top as well, and I'm doing the same thing with the blue, is going all around. And now I'm using the plaster chalk paint. That's the color in Waverly chalk paint, and I'm doing the same thing. And that brown is called Truffle by Waverly. Once that was all dry, I took my Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just doing some distressing over the white and the brown, or I'm sorry, the blue, because it won't show up on the brown. And then once I get done doing that distressing, I'm going to also take my Folk Art white wax, and I'm going to do the same thing over the brown and over the blue with that white. And I'm using a chip brush that I got from the Dollar Tree for that. And again, I cannot say how much I love this crate. I want to make some more because I just think it is so adorable. So I took this faux leather ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just measuring it here, and I'm going to cut out two pieces so that it will wrap around the sides, or the front and back and the top of that crate. I guess it's not the sides, it's the front and the back. And then once I get it cut out to the right size, I hot glue the end inside the crate. And then I'm just going to wrap it over to the other side and hot glue that piece in as well. And I did that for both sides. And then once I get those on, I am going to get some nautical rope that I got from the Dollar Tree. Not nautical, sorry, jute rope. And I'm sorry it's not really in shot here, but I put a knot on the end of one end, and I pushed the rest of it through that slat so that the knot would stop it. Then I'm taking the other end and I'm going through that little slot on the other side of it, other end of it, and I'm going down into that, but not all the way. I'm leaving a little loop, and then I'm going to bring that end up on the other slot across from it, and then I'm going to bring it down on the other end so that that makes another loop as well, and I don't pull it all the way through. And you'll see that here in just a second. You'll see what that looks like. It's going to look like two little handles. And then once I do that, I bring that piece of rope back through the beginning area that I brought in that rope through that slot. And I'm going to bring that in, or bring it up, and then I'm going to wrap those two handles with that rope. And I only got to wrap it 3 times because that piece of rope that I had wasn't super long. But once I get done wrapping it 3 times, then I'm going to take that end and I'm just going to push it back down through the little slot there. And then once I get that done, I will hot glue it to the inside of the crate. Now, I did this because I didn't know how to make a nautical rope like they show on the picture, but I think this looks just as cute, and I think it came out looking just fine. Okay, so once, oh, here I am gluing it, hot gluing it down. And then once I'm done with that, I did have a bag of shells that I bought from the Dollar Tree for $1. And let me tell you guys, there are a lot of shells in that bag. I'm putting some hot glue on it, and I am going to glue that to the front of my little crate. And I did use some of that truffle paint to kind of paint over that shell a little bit because I wanted to give it kind of an older look. Then I mixed some of that truffle, and I mixed some orange, I think it's pumpkin, yeah, pumpkin Waverly chalk paint together to kind of make a rusty look. And then I'm just using that brush from Dollar Tree, and I'm just dry brushing that all over because I really wanted it to have an old rusty look, like it's been in the bottom of the ocean for a while. And again, I can't say it enough. I absolutely love how this came out. It is just so adorable. And I did actually get some of that onto the leather, and I tried to wipe it off, but it actually, if you put it on the leather, it makes it have a more worn look as well, and I really liked it. And there it is. So not bad, you know. $2 versus $30. And if I can find one of those bigger crates, I'm gonna make me another one because I think it is so cute. And here is the next DIY. And so with this, I'm going to use one of those tag signs from Dollar Tree, that rope from Dollar Tree, some more of those shells, and then I'm going to use these paints, Waverly chalk paints, one in the color Pool, one in color Lagoon, and one in the color Peacock. So I start off by cutting off the handle there, or the tie, which I didn't need to cut it off because it just pokes through, and so now I wasted it. So don't cut it off, just push it through. And then I turn it over, and I'm going to use the backside, and I'm just marking where I want those lines to be for each paint, and I'm going to put some painter's tape down so that I can stay within my lines. And then I'm using the lightest color paint there, and I'm just painting that one side with the light color, and that one is, oh, I think that one's Pool. And then once that is done, I'm going to rip off that tape, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to put the tape where I marked it, and then make sure that your top one that you've already painted is dry, and I put some more tape above that. And then I'm using the second color, which is Lagoon, and I am painting the middle part with that color. And then, of course, once that is dry, I take the paper off first. I did use my heat gun to dry it quicker, but I did tape it off, and then I'm adding in the last color, which is Peacock. And that way it gives you 3 different colors, which I absolutely love, all of these colors together. And then once I was done with that and they were dry, I took a black Sharpie. Now you can use a paint pen, you can use a paintbrush with black ink, you can just about use anything, but I'm just highlighting those little areas in between each color to make it look more like paneling and to make it a little more distinct. And then once I get done, I take my Folk Art white wax, and I am just distressing all over. It doesn't show up as much on the lighter blue, but that's okay because I go in with the antique wax as well and add some of that too. I just wanted to look like it's been hanging out by the ocean for a while. Then I take some of these seashells, and I'm making a flower out of them, and I'm just laying them where I want to place them. And once they're all there, I just start hot gluing them on to the board. And you want to make sure you hot glue on the edge and be kind of careful. I burnt myself a few times on this one. Because if you do the middle, it's not gonna work because it's concave and it won't touch the board. So once those were all glued, I got the rope and I cut the end off, and then I'm just unraveling it because it was too thick by itself. And then I'm just hot gluing it, and as you see there, I'm looping it around to make it look kind of like a leaf. And then I'm just going to hot glue the rest of it down, and so that's just the stem. Now you could do a bigger board. I'd suggest doing a bigger board if you're going to do 3 flowers. Mine was kind of cramped. Once I got the stem on all of those, I just took some twine and glued it to the bottom, and I am just wrapping the bottom with that twine just to kind of cover the ends of those flower stems. And then I just cut it off and make a knot on the ends so the hot glue has something to stick to. And there you go. And then I go ahead and I put some jute twine in the holes and put little knots so I have a hanger. And I do go in as well and cover the back with some shipping paper, as you see there. And then once I do that, I trim off the excess, and voila, you have this cute little hanging sign that is very coastal. And it's really easy to do. The hardest part is making sure you don't burn yourself. So yeah, for this, I probably maybe $3 I spent on that one. So then here's the next DIY, and I used this little sign that I got from the grocery store, but you could use any square sign, some wooden dowels, and some popsicle sticks. So I cut the dowels down. I think they're 12 inches. I cut them in half, which makes them about 6. And then I took all those popsicle sticks and I cut down all the edges with my miter shears. Now, if you don't have any miter shears, you can use scissors. You just have to be careful that it doesn't cause the popsicle sticks to splinter. Then I took out the back part of that picture and I'm just tracing it with some of this paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it looks like sand, and I'm hot gluing it on. Then I'm going to paint the sign with Ocean Blue and Waverly, and I'm painting all those popsicle sticks the same color as well as the dowels. Now you do, once those were all dry, I did paint the back side of those popsicle sticks as well. Then I just put some hot glue in the middle, and if I'm doing hot glue just because I was more in a hurry, but you can do, I would recommend doing like super glue or something like that so that it has a more sturdy hold. And then I am using hot glue as well to put those little slats in between or on each dowel. So I would recommend doing the same thing. I did have to go through on some of them and add a little super glue, but I would recommend using super glue instead of hot glue. Or you could do both, one on each end, I guess. And then once I get all of those in, I make 3 rows. Once they were all glued, I went in with my Folk Art white wax, and I am just doing some distressing all around the bottom, the slats, the dowels, everything. And you might, oh, I guess not. And then once that was dry, I took this rope that I got from Amazon. I'll put a link to it in my description box. And I just cut it down to size, and I just hot glue the end to the inside, and then I'm just gluing it to this slats going up the side, so you have like a little handle. And the edges are kind of coming apart, so I just put a little hot glue on there and squished it together and then cut underneath it. That way it keeps it from unraveling. So there you go. And then once that was done, I took this starfish that I actually got from Hobby Lobby because my Dollar Tree really isn't getting much of the nautical stuff, and I hot glued that on, and then I took some of these little shells that I got from the Dollar Tree as well, and I just hot glued that on the front as well. And then I just put a little votive cup in there with a candle, and there it is. I just think it came out looking so cute. And this is the one that I've been wanting to do for months. I saw this on Pinterest. let's see, it was on Pinterest. The person was Purple Hues and Me. I saw this months ago and I knew it looked nautical to me and I knew I wanted to do this. So I took some of that craft rope or craft cord and I cut down 9 pieces that were about 32 inches long. And you're just going to put them in sets of 3 and tape them at the top like I did with some painter's tape. And you're just going to start braiding them. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I put rubber bands on the end of my cords there. It's just to kind of help it not get so tangled up. But you're just going to braid it all the way down to the end of that cord. And I got that cord I actually ordered it on Amazon because Hobby Lobby has it, but they didn't have the navy. So you can either get it there, or you can use rope, or you can use yarn. You can use whatever you want. And then at the end, I put a rubber band at the end to keep it together. And then I'm just putting some hot glue and squishing it in between to kind of keep it sealed. Now this stuff is fusible, and I could have probably used my lighter to fuse them all together, but it was late at night when I was doing this, and I just wanted to get it done quicker. So then I'm just going to take that end and I'm going to hot glue it. And I know you can see the hot glue all around it, but that's okay because we're going to cover it up once we go around this wreath form that I actually got at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just hot gluing it to all of those vertical lines that are on the wreath form. And I just go around and hot glue it all the way around. I think I loop it around twice. And then I just take that last bit and glue it to the back. And there it is. And I just love that braid because it just looks so nautical to me. So I took this sign that I got from the Dollar Tree and I cut out the anchor. And I'm just painting the back side. Now, after I painted it and got it all done, I looked at it and thought it kind of looks weird because on the back side, it has that little leg from the rope on the picture on the front. So it looked kind of weird, but that's okay. So I cut the middle part out and I'm just going to wrap some twine around it. And then I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to wrap some more twine all around the sides, all around the whole anchor. And once I got done with that, I was like, oh, it still looks kind of funny. I'm not sure I like it. And that's where I decided to use some of the seashells to help cover up, especially that one little area that makes it look kind of funky. Although I could have probably cut it out. So that's an idea too. If you try to do something like this, you could cut out that one piece. So once the twine was all on there, I hot glued it to the back and then I'm just wrapping it around just to kind of make it look like a rope wrapped around an anchor. But you're not really going to see much of that because I cover it up with the starfish and with seashells. Then I got this button. It was a package of buttons that I found at Hobby Lobby on clearance for 99 cents, and I used that for the middle, and I just put on some seashells and that starfish, and you'll see the end, or I guess I'm not done with it. I took this sign from Michael's. It was 99 cents, and I used that little pokey thing to get the tops off of that middle part, and then I used my pliers there, needle nose pliers, to squish it, the little, I don't know what you call it, a little thing that was holding that clippy in place. I got it all off, and then I painted it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. Once it was all painted, I used the antique wax to go in and distress it, so it gives it a little more older, weathered look. And then once I was done with that, I took this vinyl that I printed off of my Cricut, and I'm just going to get it onto the board, and we have a cute little sign. And I really love what it says. And then I'm just going to take some twine, wrap it around my hand about 10 times, I think, cut it, and then I'm just going to take those ends and wrap it around the middle of it and tie a knot and make it into a bow. Now I put it right there and it kind of covered up my letters, so if you do something like this, make sure you kind of move it up a little closer. Then I just put some hot glue on the back of that sign and put it on the front of that wreath, and there we go. And you have a cute little nautical sign. And I love this wreath. I'm probably going to have to make another one with, I just love the way it looks. It's so pretty. I will put a link to in my description box to the person who made this, so you can see what they did as well, because they actually used cardboard to make a wreath. So here are the final projects. I hope you guys liked them. Let me know in the description box, or I'm sorry, in the comment box below if you liked them. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, hit that subscribe bell as well as that notification bell, and then give me that thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my stuff, and it will promote me a little bit more. So if you guys were here to the end, leave me a boat emoji so I know you made it through. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. Thank you all again for staying with me and for all of your support. And make it a great week. Enjoy yourself and have a blessed one. Bye-bye.